Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the NC500, and on this one Isle of Skye, Loch Ness and Ben Nevis. So we're going anti-clockwise around the NC500 and we're staying mostly at pre-booked campsites. We try to keep each section of the journey down to about 1 hour if we can, some of them are a bit longer. So we finished our first video at Kenanine Beach where we had a brilliant trip on a Zipwire. So this is where we are now on this beautiful bit of coastline, and now we're going to be heading up towards Sango Sands for our next overnight stop. I love the views we get out the back window. These campsites get booked up months and months in advance, although sometimes you could be lucky and just arrive and be able to get a spot. So just a short walk from the campsite is Smoo Cave, very popular attraction, and about 45,000 people a year come to have a look. Apparently artefacts going back about 8,000 years have been found in the caves. Apparently the name Smoo may have Norse origins, meaning hole or hiding place. So we're off again, a bit further down the coast, Skye caravan and camping site. Another one of those fantastic views out the back of the van. So there's no special camera filters or anything. The sea really is that colour, and the water is just so clear. Oh, here's where I do a bit of Jacques Cousteau underwater filming. So we continue our trip coming down the east coast, and we're heading for the Bone Caves. Some of these short trips in between the places where we stop overnight can take a while, because you just have to stop and have a look at these beautiful scenic views across lakes and mountains. Castle, built around 1590, and looking like it could do with a few repairs actually. So here we are at the Bone Caves. It's got a very accessible car park, and you can actually park overnight, so it's £2 during the day and £10 overnight parking, which is very reasonable. There's no facilities, but that's fine. So the area where these bone caves are was formed about 200,000 years ago, and then landscape was changed a bit more in the last ice age, which ended about 15,000 years ago. We are finding that a lot of the waterfalls and rivers are running at sort of a fraction of what they normally would do, because it's been so dry in Scotland, and at this point it hasn't rained for over a month. So the walk up to the Bone Caves from the car park took well over an hour. It was yeah, quite hard going, and a lot of uphill and narrow paths on the sides of mountains, which was a little bit tricky at times. The rock says Bone Caves on it. So archaeologists have found bones from bears going back to something like 45,000 years, and lots of bones of other animals that have since become extinct. The caves are still being explored. Apparently there's tunnels that go sort of about 2 miles into the rock. The walk does actually take a circular route, so we could have carried on the way we were going and then come back down and round, but sort of not knowing sort of what the trail was like and knowing what we'd just done, we decided to come back the way we went. So our next stop is Ardmere Point Holiday Park, and it's just an overnight stop really. So our next stop is the Corrieshalloch Gorge, owned by the National Trust, and yeah, nice little walk. It's, 20 minutes, half an hour, and at the end of it is a bridge across the gorge, which is quite spectacular. So free to park actually if you're National Trust member, or only £5 if you're not, and it's free to actually get into the gorge.
Wow.
So now we're on our way to Loch Ness. We've got another overnight stop booked there. This isn't actually Loch Ness just here, this is just one of our stops on the way for a cup of tea. This was a nice little campsite. I wonder if they know they've got grass growing on the roof of the reception building. So from the campsite you can walk down to the loch, which is about 15-20 minutes, or as we chose to walk to get a view of Urquhart Castle, and you can actually go into the castle from here. You can do a cruise of the loch. You have to get on at each end of the loch. You can't get on at Urquhart Castle, though it does stop there. And entry to the castle is about £16. So now we're on a 2 or 3 hour drive to the fairy pools on the Isle of Skye, and we're just driving along the shores of Loch Ness. I wanted to go over the Skye Bridge. You can still take the ferry over to Skye if you want. We found the roads on Skye went from being really good and almost like new roads to really horrendous, and so many potholes that you just couldn't avoid them. You had to just pick the best of a bad bunch. And here's a lovely new bit of road. The ferry pool car park is about a mile further down the road, but we found this car park here on the left where you can actually stay overnight, which was our original intention. The fairy pools are called the fairy pools because of a local clan chief who married a fairy princess, giving rise to many fairy place names in the Isle of Skye apparently. The fairy pools are a series of natural pools and waterfalls in Glen Brittle. It's a stream, sort of mountain stream, that goes for miles and miles with all these individual pools. I think probably if it hadn't have been so dry for so long, there would have been more water. So with plenty of time left in the day, we decided not to stay overnight and we went further north to stay off-grid overnight. We've been pretty lucky with midges up until now. This is what I saw first thing in the morning. Don't go outside, but they soon cleared. So here we are at Dunvegan Castle and Gardens. It's more of a big house that's been built like a castle, to be fair. We didn't actually go in. You can go into some of the rooms, but we had the dog with us, so it was just very nice walking around all the different gardens. There's sort of wild gardens and more sort of kept gardens. It's the biggest monkey tree I've ever seen. Here's a random 2.7 ton pebble that you can spin. It's sort of carefully balanced so it just spins and keeps going. Don't know what that was about really. So on the theme of there being sort of less water nowadays, yeah, that's what it was like in 1880. You can go on seal spotting trips, no need to book in advance, you just turn up and wait for the next boat. And now we're on our way to Skye Camping and Caravan Club site. So that's our time done in Skye, and now we've got a 3-hour or so drive to the Nevis range, where we're going to go up Ben Nevis. And no problem parking here with a motorhome. Day parking £6 and you can park overnight for £15. Lift passes £27.50 and about half that for an up to a 17-year-old. Yes. It's about a 15-minute ride to the top. And then you can carry on a little bit higher to the top of that mound for some brilliant views. And what goes up must come down.
Somebody died on one of these the other day. Just a fun fact, you know.
And then just a very short drive around the corner to Nevis camping site, where we stayed the night. This was quite a popular site and quite handy if you want to do some walking up Ben Nevis, because it's right next door. And off we go again, this time to Bruce's Cave campsite. This is going to be quite a long journey. This is going to be like 4 hours plus stops. and it's taking us to just south of Lockerbie. So here we are, and that house was built on the foundations of Dunvegan Castle that was demolished at one point. So it was here that King Robert the Bruce spent 3 months hiding in a cave. This was during the Wars of Independence. And apparently during his stay in the cave he was watching a spider trying to make its web across an opening, and he came up with the famous phrase, "If at first you don't succeed, try and try again." This was our last night in Scotland, and we went to the station, which is a lovely pub restaurant just down the road, and you get 10% discount from the caravan site if you say you're staying there. Beautiful food, lovely meal, and lovely staff. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and see you again sometime. Bye.